Hi, it's Cynthia Painter here from Create Action Now, and I want to talk today about how much is too much content when I'm wanting to present or speak. Now, imagine you turn up to speak at an audience and speak at an event, and what comes out of your mouth is everything that you know on that topic. And you feel great because you are sharing all this information. Everything you know from the beginning of time till then and going forth, what you predict is going to happen in the future. But what's happening for the audience members? Well, they're probably in overwhelm at that point because you may have also been in this position as an audience member. You go in to listen to someone speak and they're just giving you everything. They've opened Pandora's box and it's all flying out, everything they've ever known, the ins and outs of it. And it's one of the key mistakes that speakers make is they tell us the whole lot. And this is not what we can digest as human beings. So if you want your audience to be engaged, and why wouldn't you, and actually walk away from what you've been talking about, not only feeling great about you, but great about what they can do with that, then we need to limit what we're actually sharing in our presentations. Now, hold your horses. I'm not talking about giving small bits of information. You see, you've got to think of it in context. You know all this about your topic, but they have their whole world they're trying to fit a topic into. So what we want to be able to do is give them enough that be able to deliver on a digestible, actionable outcome for them. So what you want to do when you're looking at how much am I going to speak, how much is too much, well, there's a couple of things to consider to start with. What is the context in which you're speaking in? So if you're speaking in a sort of a competency-based certification, then you're probably like a lecture. You're probably going to have to go into a fair bit of detail. They might need to be assessed on what they're talking about, or they may need to be able to have those ins and outs of in-depth detail about it. The likelihood that you're doing that is probably limited, but that's a consideration. The other consideration is what person who's got you speaking, if it's somebody else, what is the context of what they want you to be able to deliver? So they may have said to you, we want to hit a pile of criteria, there's certain content we want you to cover, and then you need to be able to deliver on that. Now, if there's been a mistake made and you're like, that's way too much, this is where you negotiate with the people who are organizing you to speak to go, really, in the time that we have, this is the best content or this is where they're at. And the other context to consider is how much time do you have? I've presented in everything from a 10-minute spot to 8 days training and longer. So how much time do you have for this? Are you giving them just an insight and a taster, or are you really giving them a lot more detail, and how much time do you have to play with? That's really going to give you an indication. The last consideration is what is the promise that's been made? So when you go out and say, I'm going to speak on this topic, you better deliver on that topic. And we don't just have a topic, but we have things as outcomes that people want to be able to walk away with. So you do need to deliver on that. Otherwise, your credibility as a speaker is going to be shot, I'm afraid to say. So do consider what are some of the things that you're wanting to talk about and set that up for the audience members so that you can deliver on that promise of an outcome. Okay, so here's the tips on what to cover so you don't cover too much. Number one topic, one outcome. So again, we try to fill too much into the time that we have in front of our audience. But what is the one topic or outcome that you want them to be able to walk away with? We know so much and we forget sometimes that the things we take for granted are gold nuggets to our audience members. So keep it simple, one topic, one outcome. Then what's the step-by-step process they need to get that outcome. Where have they come in at and where are they walking out at? Now, of course, this is a group environment, so it's not going to be tailored to the individual. But in general, where is your audience member starting and where does your audience member finishing in the time that you have them and the context you're working in? Third is consider any obstacles that they might need to consider in getting through those steps and getting that outcome. That would be important to cover. You don't want to tell them that, this is how you drive a car and not tell them about the road rules along the way. Next, you want to be able to make sure they've got some real tangible takeaways. This is actually a personal value of mine. I hate going to trainings that are all just theory with no practical takeaways. And I certainly hate listening to speakers who are all about the sell and nothing about practical. If I've taken my time to be there, whether it's on a Facebook Live, a webinar, a workshop, or a conference, don't do the whole time selling to me. Give me something I can actually use because I've invested my time in you. And of course, I don't mind an upsell at the end with that as well. Okay. So with that, we then also want to be able to talk to them about what's the next step. So great, you've learned this bit. Now, if you need to know the next step, that's when you can work with me or you can go into the group program that we have. So we want to be able to go through one topic and one outcome, the step-by-step processes. We want to be able to go through those obstacles, make sure there's real takeaways, and understand what that next step is to being able to address the problem at the next level by potentially working with you. So that's what you need to look at when you are looking at how much to speak on. I'll leave you with one last consideration in how you wrap that up. And it's something I particularly look at when I'm presenting. And check in, how do you want them to feel? What do you want them to think? And what do you want them to do from that training? So how do you want them to feel? What do you want them to think? And what do you want them to do? So use that as a guiding light in how much you cover when you're going to speak. Now, I'd actually love to hear from you. What's your experience been, the good, the bad, and the ugly? Feel free to put into the comments box or onto the Facebook page what your experience has been and if you have any questions. So think, what is a one topic that you could present on that isn't too big and isn't too small? Let me know in the comments box. Come and share below or come and share in the Facebook page of Create Action Now. And of course, if you haven't followed us and liked us, then do so as well. Between now and when I see you next, brilliant people, I do look forward to hearing how you share your message now. Bye, everyone.